Hello and welcome to Game of Life 411, and welcome to my 15th Lotus Emira video. Today's video is focused on North America updates for the US and Canada. Even though North America is one of the largest markets for Lotus, it's an underserved audience, so I'm doing my best to provide updates and information as it comes to me. So if you have any intel on the Lotus Emira, please share it with me and I'll share it with my audience. It's been almost 2 months since my last Lotus Emira update, and what prompted it was an email that I received from Lotus Cars. Lotus Cars just sent letters to all North American Lotus Emira order holders. And I'll provide those updates for the V6 Manual, the V6 Automatic, and the i4 Turbocharged versions. There's also some confusion out there about the status of carb certification, so I'll try to clarify that as well. Hey, if you're interested in the Lotus Emira, now would be a great time to stop and subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on, because the real fun starts in a couple months when I actually take delivery of my new Lotus Emira. If you're already a subscriber, thank you, and tell one of your car buddies about my channel or share one of my videos with them. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you might be wondering why I'm wearing my BMW hat today. Because this is a Lotus Emira update. Well, in my last update video, I included a little bit of a rant because I've really been unable to find any decent Lotus gear. Every time I look for something, it's not really the quality that I would expect and not something that I would really want to wear. So I threatened to make my own logo and create my own hat, and I've done just that. So I got these Lotus logos made, my own design, and I can just apply it to this very nice BMW cap, and there you go. That's the best looking Lotus cap I've been able to find. So anyhow, if you'd like to create your own, just let me know. I'll send you the JPEG for that image. I'll also mention at this point that Throttle House just recently put out a Car of the Year video naming the Lotus Emira the Car of the Year. So if you haven't seen that video yet, check it out. Let me just read the email I received from start to finish. Dear Peter, we're pleased to let you know your Emira is almost here. There are a few final checks that need to be completed before we can hand over the keys, and we expect it will be delivered to you in the first few weeks of 2024. Thank you for your patience during this process. As a token of our appreciation for your loyalty to the Lotus brand, please expect a gift from us coming soon. Further information on the exact timings of the delivery of your car will be available through your Lotus Center. And that's it. So this email surprised me because my car is not due until sometime around April. And I have another car, an Alfa Romeo 4C, that I need to sell before I can take delivery of the Lotus Emira. So I was counting on that time frame. But honestly, I think it's just more of Lotus's poor communication. The other part of this that's interesting is the gift. And I'll be interested to see what you think the gift is going to be, and I can't wait to see it. My guess is it's going to be a picture of a Lotus Emira. Nothing particularly exciting. Maybe some luggage tags, again, something that I never use anymore. But who knows? I'll be curious to see what it is. Hey, maybe it'll be a nice Lotus hat. That would be cool. When I received this email, the first thing I did was reach out to Tony at Gator Motorsports. That's the dealership in Indianapolis where I have my Lotus Emira on order. And I just really wanted to talk to him and, try and clarify some things. North American Lotus Emira order holders had heard several months ago that Lotus was providing more information on the tracking of our vehicles through their production process. And so I talked to Tony about that a little bit, and he explained to me how that works. So essentially they get a spreadsheet every week or two. It's nothing more fancy than that, but it has different statuses for each order. And the statuses that he explained to me are open, then processed, which means in manufacturing, then VIN assigned, port processing, and finally customs. And he told me that the status of my car currently is processed, which means it's in the manufacturing process. So that's super exciting to me. Although it's also a little bit bittersweet because I was hoping to find out when my Lotus Emira was in production and see if I could arrange a trip over to do a factory tour. I just thought it would be super cool to see my car while it's being manufactured. I know some premier automakers do this. And who knows, maybe they'd even let me take a magic marker and sign some part that would be hidden away after they're completed with assembly. Anyhow, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, but I'm going to still try and find out more information about exactly where my car is in the production process. The other thing he told me was that he actually had a VIN number for my car already. And I was like, wow, that's exciting. That puts some sort of tangible reality on the vehicle, although honestly, it's probably just a piece of paperwork. But he shared that with me, and that's exciting. Then I asked him about the timing again and explained that I had to sell that Alfa Romeo 4C before I take delivery of the Lotus Emira. He gave me some additional information. He told me that Lotus Emira production actually has accelerated a little bit, and he's expecting some cars a few weeks earlier than previously anticipated. So instead of an April delivery, I might be looking at a March delivery, which would be awesome because I'm already planning several trips out to Indiana in the month of March. And it would be great to come back with my Emira on one of those trips. I'd also seen some posts on the forums about paint correction and about PPF application and things like that because the cars don't come from the factory with it applied. He said first off that Lotus has several different steps in their quality control process, but that the dealership, Gator Motorsports, is the final step in that quality control process. So when they take receipt of the car, they will go over everything, make sure it's the exact spec that I ordered, make sure there are no issues that need to be resolved, deal with any known factory updates or recalls, etc. He also said at that point I'd have the option of applying a protective film to the car, and that could take 1 to 2 weeks depending upon how backed up they were. So that's something that I'll have to think about when the time actually comes. But obviously I would like to have my car protected. To put things in perspective, I put my deposit down on this car 30 months ago. That's 2.5 years. And so maybe I'll be taking delivery of this car close to 3 years from the time I place that deposit. I read a funny post on one of the forums about the delivery time frame, and one of the guys was like, oh, I was hoping I wouldn't get it until my 3-year anniversary of placing my deposit. Everybody, of course, thought, well, you know, I'm sure if you asked Lotus, they could accommodate you. But anyhow, it has been quite the journey, and I'm very excited about getting my car. A little bit sad about having to part with the Alfa Romeo 4C. I also love that car. What can I say? I love all these cars. I wish I could own them all and keep them all forever, but that's just not possible. I also saw a post this week on the forums stating that the CARB stickers, the certification stickers, had arrived at the dealerships. So I talked to Tony about that as well, and he thought there was some confusion around this. To his understanding, these stickers are just to correct an error on the window stickers for the cars. It is not CARB certification, and he still expects that by the end of this month, January 2024. He has reached out to Lotus Cars to confirm this, and at the time of this recording, the CARB certification has not been received. The last thing I talked to Tony about was delivery of the cars, because I'd heard that a lot of the dealerships had refused to accept the Lotus Emiras, that they had asked Lotus Cars to store them at their headquarters or other locations, until such time as the CARB certification was received and they could actually deliver those cars to the customers. And this is important for a number of reasons. You know, number one, floor planning. I actually used to work for Auto Finance Corp, which is one of the biggest floor planners in the country. Floor planning is the financing of cars on the dealership floor. So the dealers did not want to take receipt of those cars because then they would have to finance them for an undetermined period of time before they could actually sell them and deliver them to the customers. So that's important for them. The other issue was just logistics. When I talked to Tony, he said, well, initially we were expecting, 7 cars to be delivered in the first month and then 12 cars in the second month, and we could accommodate that. But now the way it looks, we're going to get over 40 cars all at once. And it was just difficult to be able to accommodate all those cars. So now he's reached out to Lotus Cars where they're storing his cars. They've asked for them to be delivered to the dealership because now things are getting very close. He expects CARB certification in the next week or so, and they want to be able to prep those cars for delivery to the end customer. They don't want to cause any further delays and just want to get those cars into the hands of their owners. Since I included a rant in my last Lotus Emira video, I guess I'll follow suit and include a brief rant here as well. And today's rant is about trolls, or what we used to call bullies. Because I'm trying to provide a service, I will often post my videos on the various car forums. And usually they're received well, but every once in a while someone will take it upon themselves to troll me. It's sad, and I usually assume that they're compensating for something. Oftentimes they're not from the United States. So I was thinking about this recently and remembered something from about 30 years ago. When I was in my 20s, I was working in Hong Kong and Singapore, and I had a lot of expat friends from countries all around the world, primarily English-speaking countries, but not exclusively. And I remember one of my friends explained to me the culture in his country, He said that they had a culture against success and succeeding. So he described it as frogs in a pot. And if you imagine a pot full of frogs, if one of the frogs tries to climb up and improve its lot, the other frogs will grab it and pull it back down into the pot. So I think that may be part of it, different cultures. One poster even accused me of being a poseur, which just tells me that he doesn't understand the definition of poseur, or he's never watched any of my videos. If you've watched any of my videos or been following my channel, then you already know this, but I'll go ahead and restate it. The reason I created this channel was to share information and help people. Admittedly, a lot of the car stuff is just because I enjoy it, but I do feel the Lotus Emira community in North America is underserved, and so I'm trying to provide information when I can. And when some of my Lotus Emira videos get almost 10,000 views and I get tons and tons of positive comments, I know I'm doing something worthwhile. Here's the letter for the i4 Turbocharged. We wanted to share an important update on your Emira i4 and thank you for your patience as we process your delivery. Please be aware that we are doing everything we can to get the keys in your hands as soon as possible. Lotus, like many others, was affected by global supply chain constraints, which impacted manufacturing in the UK. As a result, we've had knock-on effects on your vehicle program and delivery timelines for the Emira 4-cylinder variant. Certain checks and certifications must be finalized before the keys can be handed over to you. Significant progress has been achieved, and we anticipate commencing the delivery of Emira i4 to customers in early 2025. So sorry about that, guys. We look forward to delivering your Emira to you as soon as possible, and as a token of our appreciation for your patience and loyalty to the Lotus brand, please expect a gift from us coming soon. Side note here, I've heard that there are different variants of these letters, some mentioning gifts and some not mentioning gifts. But I'll let you all sort that out. I'm not going to try and address the gift mystery. Continuing, we aim to provide more updates on the exact timings in the upcoming weeks, and we'll be in touch with you as soon as we receive them. For any inquiries in the meantime, please reach out to your Lotus Center. So for any of my viewers who have ordered an i4 Turbocharged Lotus Emira, please let me know if you receive any further updates. I'd love to share that with my audience here. This is the letter that was sent to folks who had ordered the automatic version of the V6 Lotus Emira. We wanted to share an important update on your Emira and thank you for your patience as we process your delivery. Please be aware that we are doing everything we can to get the keys in your hands as soon as possible. Lotus, like many other OEMs, was affected by global supply chain constraints which impacted manufacturing in the UK. As a result, we've had knock-on effects on our vehicle program and delivery timelines for the Emira V6 Automatic. There are some final checks and certifications that need to be completed before we can hand over the keys to your Emira. We have been making significant progress and are now expecting this to happen in the summer. The great news is that your car will be a model year 2025. We look forward to delivering your Emira to you as soon as possible. And as a token of our appreciation for your patience and loyalty to the Lotus brand, please expect a gift from us coming soon. We aim to provide more updates on the exact timings in the upcoming weeks and will be in touch with you as soon as we receive them. For any inquiries in the meantime, please reach out to your Lotus Center. So there you go. Unfortunately, a longer wait still for folks who have ordered the Lotus Emira Automatic V6. So hang in there. I'm sure this is frustrating, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, you probably put your deposits down almost 3 years ago, so just a few more months to hang in there. Okay, hopefully I will not be too ungraceful. Hey, if you're interested in the Lotus Emira, now would be a great time to stop and subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on, because the real fun starts in a couple months when I actually take delivery of my new Lotus Emira. If you're already a subscriber, thank you, and tell one of your car buddies about my channel or share one of my videos with them.